Monaco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. It's Monday, March 30th, 2020. I have the pleasure of speaking with Oliver Temple of goldinvestments.co.uk. It's been a hectic last couple of weeks in the bullion market for gold and silver. And I just thought it would be interesting for the viewers all around the world, but especially in the UK and maybe also in Europe, to hear from Oliver and what's going on. Before I start, I'd like to thank Oliver for giving us his time. Oliver, welcome. And can you tell us a bit about Gold Investments, the background of the firm?
Yeah, my father started it in about 1981, so it's probably one of the oldest bullion dealers in the UK, certainly dealing with retail clients, and started off dealing, basically through the bullion departments of the high street banks, Lloyds, RBS, NatWest, Barclays. When they closed, they passed most of their clients over to us. So from there, we stored. And we got some investment banks, wealth management, and SIPs who began storing with us, as well as, obviously a large amount of private individuals, and been going ever since. They buy and sell all sorts, from one sovereign all the way up to 10, 20 kilos at a time. So, it's a market for everyone. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we clearly built up a large stock, and most of those clients, if not all, are still with us, because we don't tend to try and push premiums up or push a particular product. We try to give as much clear advice as we can, as in, this is the cheapest way or that's the cheapest way.
Great. Could you tell us, especially for those who haven't bought gold or silver, what your services are exactly?
Yeah, so anything that's on our site, plus there are a few other things that we don't sites, sort of niche coins. People can buy online, at this moment anyway, buy online. Normally they'll be able to do it over the phone and do a bank transfer, but you can go online, click to buy whatever's there, so sovereigns, Krugerrands, Maple Leafs, Britannias, and all the different bars as far as gold is concerned. And normally on silver we have a variety of different coins and bars. It's a very simple process. They can either buy by debit card, they can do a bank transfer, they can write a check, and then we would send the gold out and it's all insured. Quite a few clients at the moment, because of Royal Mail not being entirely, i.e. we pay them quite a lot to sort of send the gold to get it the next day, but they're not banging on the door, so they're leaving gold outside, but B, it's not actually arriving the next day, maybe the day later. So they're choosing to store with us, so that's sort of fully insured, and it's their gold we're holding on their behalf. So if everybody goes bust, it doesn't matter, and that works out at £4 an ounce a year for most things, and we would only invoice sort of March next year, because we don't know what they're going to do with it. But a kilo is, say, £50 a year. So a lot more people are storing, and but it's entirely up to it's the client's money. They will do what they want with it. So we'll either post it out to them within a few days, or we'll store for them. And obviously we buy back, and we stick to a maximum of 2% below spot, but it can get better based on stock levels and that sort of stuff, but it's never worse than that.
Yeah, and I remember when I worked in the city, I used to come and see your dad, or even you later on. You can also go and get the gold yourself, can't you? I mean, right now it's difficult, but eventually that's what you can do, or you can take the gold to sell.
Yeah, a lot of clients do. I mean, we're one of a lot of the other sort of larger sort of companies, certainly in the UK, are very much internet based, and so there isn't an office or a person you can go in and chat to. So yeah, we have somebody comes in who wants to buy a sovereign or a kilo. They're treated exactly the same. They come in, we have a chat, they can pay us and take it away, or as you say, bring something in, and before they're off their chair, the money's either in their account or it's cash in their hands. So that's very much of a face-to-face
Yeah.
side. I mean, it's unfortunate we can't be in the office now, but everything is as normal as far as other parts of the business are concerned, just not the sort of face-to-face bit at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, can you tell us a little bit about how these last 2 weeks have been? I mean, I even heard from one of my viewers who uses your service that you delivered her some product.
Yeah.
You went to her house to deliver it to it, which I thought was really good. Yeah, you really went out of your way to do a good service there.
Well, I mean, she has bought before, but we are doing that for some people. Certainly, one of sort of the country office, in effect, one of the directors, my father's home, is in Woking, so we have delivered something else to somebody in the Spy Fleet, quite close, and we asked. Sort of, if we can, we'll pop over there with the gold. It's slightly less risky than certainly for larger orders of say more than 10,000 or 20,000, which we may not be large to as an order for us, but so we know it's quite a lot of money for people. We do try to drop it off at their house and knock on the door and step back, so at least it's a bit more secure. But it's just what my father's always done. He always said that it takes a sort of a lifetime to build up a reputation, but 2 minutes to destroy it. So we try and keep his name going in as best we can, really.
Yeah, and so I've noticed this morning that a lot of the other bullion dealers online, they're not really, some of them have stopped dealing.
Mhm.
And so how come you've been able to keep going? I guess it's your contacts in the trade, or
Yeah, I mean, I think it's to do with the sort of the people that we've built up a reputation with over the years. In fact, we are looking to get in a very large, more of a stock early part of next week. Things like Britannias and stuff, which we haven't got the sort of the new ones at the moment. So we're doing 2012s and years of the Ox and years of this, which is relatively the same thing. But we do have plenty of Krugerrands and Sovereigns and all the other stuff on our site because we've built it up. We've got thousands of Krugerrands which we don't need to go out and buy. Whereas I think a lot of the other companies work on an internet base. So if you order 10 Krugerrands, they will then buy 10 Krugerrands and send it to you, but have some in stock, but not for a great demand or an over demand like there is now, whereas we've never really relied on that. Nothing on our site is not physically in stock. But yes, we've heard that even companies who do have stock are saying, listen, we can't send it out for 2, 3, 4 weeks. I mean, we're offering for stuff that we haven't quite got but are going to get. Listen, we'll store it for free for you in these vaults, send you a certificate, and then in a week maximum, I would have thought maybe 10 days, we'll post it all out for free for you, so at least you know you've got that. I've also heard from a few clients who called up and said that these bullion dealers aren't offering to buy anything back. So what the case is for that, I don't know. But yeah, in effect, it's business as normal for us. But I think based on, as you said, the relationships we've got with people all over the world, as well as the stock that we've built up over 40 years, just allows us to be in a position to do this, really.
so what kind of activity have you seen the last couple of weeks? Is it really off the wall compared to your normal activity? Are you seeing a lot of clients buying or selling as well?
We're seeing a few people sell, and I can understand that. I mean, it's difficult if you can't get to the bank, and and you'll, and sort out things like moving money around, and at this stage there are extra expenses that you need in your bank account. You need to rely far more on deliveries. So, delivery companies, cost a bit. So, clearly the people are selling a bit, but the majority are buying, and the majority are buying gold. I think more would buy silver, but there just isn't any, and it's hugely expensive at the moment anyway. It's far over par what you should be paying for. So, I mean, although as I say, it's their money, They can do what they want with it, but we're sort of strongly suggesting gold is a better option. But yeah, the demand has certainly increased exponentially, really. And I know people have been trying to get through on the phone, and it just keeps ringing. It's simply because we can't answer every phone call, so that's how busy it is. We are getting back to everybody on emails, so it's probably best for people to sort of contact us on emails. Whether they want to buy or not, it doesn't matter. We'll still chat and help as much as we can.
Do you see this continuing forward now with what's going on in the outside world? I saw the FT was writing yesterday that the UK government is thinking of extending this lockdown for possibly 6 months. I mean, that would be
horrendous. Yeah, I think the lockdown will probably slightly reduce as far as people will be able to go into the office, and it'll become a little bit easier. I still think they very very well may say, listen, if you're of an age and no underlying problems, then yes, fine, you can travel. But anybody who's over a certain age, or indeed is living with someone over a certain age or underlying problems, can't. It may get to that point. But I mean, overall, the demand will slowly diminish. But I mean, even when I was working in derivatives and stuff like that, the underlying feature is supply and demand. So if a huge supply of physical gold comes onto the market, then the price will obviously go down. So, but I mean, at this moment in time, like any other problem in the world, people do always flock to gold, and I can't see that changing, certainly over the next few months. EasyJet have grounded all their flights. The travel industry is going to take a knock, and then there's everything else. I know oil is shooting up, so not particularly easy for a man on the street to invest in crude. But so yeah, I mean, I can't see gold dying a death anytime soon. I mean, hopefully the demand will slow because supply will ease, but and maybe the rate that gold is going up may slowly, very much like the virus, the curve may be flattened slightly, but generally I think it's going up. Yeah.
Yeah, especially with all the central banks and governments adding so much stimulus, like fiscal and monetary, it should continue to help gold, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I was looking earlier today that I think 20 years ago, if you put £1,000 into the FTSE 100, it'd be worth around about £2,300 now. But if you put £1,000 into gold 20 years ago, it's worth about 7,300. So, just on a general basis, that gold has always gone up, and has always outperformed other things. It's just not meant for a quick buck. So, it's security and safety, and your money will go up. More than it will in the bank, or inflation.
If you quote that promo code, you get a small discount. Can you tell people where you can ship? I mean, normally you could probably ship anywhere. How is the situation nowadays with the crisis? Where can you potentially ship to precious metals?
We can ship anywhere. I mean, the UK clearly is normal. It's free to post. We bear that cost. As far as overseas, I mean, we've had a few clients of yours from Canada, Belgium, Holland. A lot of a lot of them are choosing to store because they don't necessarily want the rigmarole of storing it themselves. But we have been posting. We use FedEx. And in general, the price to send stuff for overseas is around about £50 a package for us. So we pass that to the client. So I think the client has to think to themselves, look, I'm buying one Krugerrand. Do I really want to spend an extra £50 on that? Sure, I'll just leave it with gold investments for the moment. I'll get that certificate, and then over the next coming weeks or days, or whatever, I'll order more. When it gets to a point that's worthwhile, then we'll post it. So, but again, as I say before, it's the client's money. It's nothing to do with us, what they do with it. So if they want to do £50 a go, then do. But that hasn't really slowed down. the process may be a day or two longer from ordering, and then it's maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days later that people will always get their stuff wherever they are. But the banks are slightly slower. WorldPay, who do our card payments, are slightly slower. So if you did a debit card today, which would obviously be in the UK, we're only seeing that money has left WorldPay by tomorrow. So we would post it then. If it's before 2:30, and they should receive it the next day, but it's sometimes an extra day. Overseas, bank transfers the same, really. Especially
they're slowing down a bit, the bank transfers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's a gentleman in Holland who on Friday ordered some gold and sent it, and then it's absolutely clear that it's gone, but it hasn't arrived yet. So there's no reason for that, really. It was done in sterling, because he would, I think, we suggest that people would put it in sterling, they'd get a better exchange rate, and particularly want to make money on the exchange rate side. So they just ask their bank, can you send this in sterling, please? And it still hasn't arrived. So, so it is taking slightly longer, certainly from overseas. And here, it's arriving fine if it's less than 10,000. If it's over 10,000, you've got to do multiple payments, and so because I think it's a daily limit. So again, that may take a few days, but in general, we may be a day and a half behind as far as getting the gold to people. But apart from that, nothing per se has happened. Some things, the smaller coins and stuff, have gone out of stock, but we were never really big on those because they normally aren't investment coins per se. There's a much larger premium on them. So,
which ones are those? Like,
well, things like tenths, 10th Krugers, 10th Maple.
Oh yeah, 1/20th Maple Leaf. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not really investment coins, and bullion investment coins. They're not really designed for that. It's a very large premium. Refiners tend to charge a fixed rate, and mints. So whether it's a 1 ounce or a kilo or a tenth, the flat rate is this, whatever it is, £50. So £50 as a percentage of a kilo of about 40 grand, 45 grand isn't very much, but 10th maple, which is £150 or £160, is quite a lot. So really, it's an expensive thing to buy, normally as a gift. But people obviously don't necessarily have £10,000 or £1,500, so they're buying what they can get, which fine. I mean, I'd suggest the best options are sort of 100 gram bars, kilo bars, Krugerrands, and sovereigns. Those are the sort of things that are mainly associated with investment grade gold. But I mean, again, it's up to the client, really.
What about the premiums right now? What are your premiums? I know they change.
Yeah, they change just based on our stocks. So they could go down from where they are based on what happens early next week, really. But I think we do tend to try and keep an eye on everybody else's premiums and make sure we're lower than that. Some of the competitors put prices from, and if you drill down, you find you've got to buy about 1,000 of them to get that price. So we look at that price for 5,000, and we make sure that our price for 1 is lower than that. So, I don't believe we should necessarily take advantage of a crisis or a tragedy. So we've tried very hard to keep it as a normal premium. But they do vary wildly. The smaller the bar, the smaller the coin, the higher the premium. We've kept it as close as possible to the average, to what we normally have. So, yeah.
Great. Oliver, thank you very much for your time. And
No problem.
yeah, and we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Just make sure that you keep well and stay home, as they say, and obviously all your viewers as well. Wish them to stay well or speedy recovery and stay home.
Yeah, I mean, it hasn't changed much for me because I do my videos from home, but we can't really go out for dinner or lunch or play golf.
Your wild partying days are behind you, I think.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thank you. Take
No
care.
problem. Speak soon.